Good evening, Internet, and welcome back to Bloodstone. For the first time in, I don't think, 6 weeks? Close to 6 weeks, 7 weeks maybe? We are back for some 4Dad's 5th edition D&D campaign set in the Forgotten Realms. I am, as always, 8BitPonies. I have my cast here with us this evening, our fantastic gentlemen who are going to be playing in this game for your viewing pleasure, assuming that there is anybody out there at all. We appreciate you if you are. We're going to kick off into some games here in just, or nope, we're going to kick off into the game here in just a moment. I'm getting my scripts mixed up. We're going to, we'll talk about schedule here for the next little bit, and then we'll get into a recap, and then we'll dive off into our game for the evening. First things first, we are, all of our streams for the remainder of this week are somewhat in flux. We have some pretty nasty weather headed in our direction, and we'll probably be hovering over the area for most of the rest of the next week, and it's going to be dropping probably double what we normally get in annual rainfall over our heads here in our, double monthly regular rainfall over the course of the next few days. Anytime that happens, my situation gets a little fluid. Mind the pun. And because my basement has a tendency to leak. And so if that is happening, obviously there will be no streams. We're hoping that that doesn't happen. I've taken a lot of measures over the course of the last couple of years to try to fix that. We're hoping. We're keeping our fingers crossed that we finally found the fix to keep that from happening. But if it does, in fact, happen, then we'll be canceling streams for as much as we need to manage that issue over the course of the next several days. We would love it if we get back and are able to do all 3 of our remaining streams this week, but we'll see how that goes as the situation develops overhead. What else? We're coming up on the 3-year anniversary of our little stream here. Not specifically the Bloodstone stream, but the 4Dad stream in general. Middle of May will be our 3 years anniversary for our stream as a whole. We will be having our 1v1 ARAM tournament sometime in the future. We hope to make sure that everybody that has played in the tournament before and anybody who is new to the stream since the last one, which turned out to be, I think, in August last year. But anyway, either way, anybody who is a participant in the stream who wants to be involved in the tournament, we hope that you will join us for that sometime, hopefully in May. And then, of course, we'll be bringing back our Starfleet stream next Tuesday, hopefully, assuming that everything else goes okay and we are able to do that. We are going to be introducing 1 or 2 new players this next time that we play, the next session. Looking forward to doing that as well. We always love growing the player base for this game. Hopefully be able to maybe coax some of our other dads into joining our Starfleet stream once in a while. Maybe. We'll see. It's been a little while for playing Starfleet battles for some of these guys, but we'd love to have everybody come back and play a game or two whenever it's possible. But that's now on Tuesdays as well. We're currently doing Bloodstone on the 1st and 3rd Tuesdays of every month, and Starfleet battles on the 2nd and 4th Tuesdays of every month. If we do happen to have a month in which there are 5 Tuesdays, like this month, the 5th and final Tuesday of the month will be dedicated to something else. A variety stream, perhaps, and a new game that we haven't played on the stream before. So we'll see how that goes. But be looking forward to those additional Tuesday streams coming up. We're looking forward to seeing you there as well. I think that takes care of all of our announcements. Guys, do you have anything to add? Anybody? Anything?
Nope.
Nope.
Fantastic. then we will dive off into our session for the evening. We'll get a little bit of a recap since it has been so long. So, gentlemen, when last we left our intrepid group of adventurers, our party had traveled from the city of Heliogabalus in the Bloodstone Kingdom all the way over to a city, a tent city or a warehouse city called Mulmentar. At Mulmentar, which is a kind of a satellite of the trade city of Mulmaster, they hopped a ship and sailed a short distance to a something of a trade camp or a way station camp called Camp Iron. That was near to the city of Mulmaster, and then at the Camp Iron hopped into wagons in a caravan traveling from Camp Iron to the city of Mulmaster itself. On the way there, the party had an opportunity to split off from the remainder of their companions, or their traveling companions, after disaster struck. A wagon wheel was damaged, and it was going to cause delays that the party was afraid that they couldn't incur, given the contract that they had with the city of Mulmaster. And so they had initially intended to leave the caravan behind, but upon learning that there was a pod of wyverns flying overhead, rushed back to assist the caravan in defense, and a melee, or a wild melee, ensued where a half dozen wyverns attacked the caravan and were fought off and slain by our intrepid heroes. So we're still a few hours out from Mulmaster, wherein the party will travel through the city locked up in their wagons, as per the contract that the Bloodstone Kingdom government has made with the government of Mulmaster. There are a number of reasons why that is necessary. Non-humans are not allowed in the city of Mulmaster except as property. And there are a few of those in this party. Wizards, or users of magic in general, are also not allowed in the city unless they are under the employ of the city government. An offense punishable by death, or either of those offenses are punishable by death, and the breaking of any contract. A waggle or a widget of wyverns. I love it.
Good job.
We have a halfling that has showed up on screen, and Souls is having to get rid of her. So we'll give him just a moment to wrap that up while we prepare for the remainder of the session this evening. After the battle has concluded, there are a few dead guards. Unfortunately, there were some casualties incurred by the battle, or as part of the battle. Fortunately, none of the non-combatants were injured or killed. None of Eldric's personal guard, while several of them were injured in various ways, none of them were killed. And of course, none of our intrepid heroes were injured, at least not severely.
Unceremoniously killed by a wyvern.
Unceremoniously killed by a widget or a waggle of wyverns. We love it. At this point in time, the caravan leader is expressing his sincerest gratitude to your party for essentially hauling him and all of those in his charge out of the fire, as it were. As you can see, the waggle widget would have easily decimated the cavern, or the caravan. The caravan, had not it been for Eldric and his company. But the paladin's crew made relatively short work of the wyverns, and kept all but just a handful of caravan guards from any real serious harm. Is there anything in particular, gentlemen, before we get started on tonight's session, that you are fuzzy on, or you have questions about, or you want to be made known before we get rolling?
Nope, I'm good.
Good to go.
Fantastic. Then we will we'll pick up right where we left off, where the battle has ended. The soldiers, the remaining soldiers who were watching over the caravan, are restoring order to some degree. One of the wagons, unfortunately, was destroyed, and 2 of the horses were killed. But given that none of the civilians were, it is possible to sort of distribute the remaining civilians from the wagon that was destroyed into the other wagons, and therefore not really lose much in the way of ability to transport. Most importantly for your party, the 2 wagons that are required for you to essentially make it through the city of Mulmaster whenever you arrive are intact, and you will be unimpeded upon reaching the city itself. That being said, we're going to fast forward a little bit. Rather than go through the city of Mulmaster itself, which really has no serious bearing on your situation, other than the fact that making a stink in the city, or arriving in the city without the necessary resources to hasten your journey through the city, having all of those things still in place, you are able to reach the city with just enough time to make it still in your wagons, sequestered away from the rest of the city, to the docks and board the ship that is waiting to take you across the Moon Sea to the city of Melvaunt. So we're going to sort of hand wave the city of Mulmaster, at least for the time being. You have successfully avoided that particular obstacle, at least for the moment.
Oh, yeah!
And,
for the moment.
And we are going to skip ahead to the 3rd and final day of your trip by sea. So you've been 2 days on the ship, and I have the name of ship in my notes. Sorry. The name of the ship is... That's not it. Not that. We're going to call it, because I can't find the name. Oh, here it is. Hang on just a second. Hopefully that does it. The Bold Sunlight is the name of the ship. 2 days aboard the Bold Sunlight. It has been a largely uneventful voyage on board the ship. You've never sailed on the Moon Sea before, as I recall. And so that there are a number of sites that are pointed out to your crew, your group, assuming that you spend much time above decks. There are a number of sites that are pointed out to your group by the sailors or by the interested parties. But for the most part, your group sort of keeps to itself. You are...
Hold
Sorry, go
on
ahead.
there.
What's that?
Eldrick is a Charisma 20 paladin. He is not keeping to himself. Everybody on the ship is probably tired of talking to him by day 2 at that point. They have heard all my glorious tales, and I have heard whatever tales they wish to tell. 100%.
Granted. Okay. So then, actually, go ahead, Eldrick. Make me just a flat charisma check.
Flat charisma check. It might
Just
go
a
flat. Let's find out.
Flat out charisma check.
And plus 5.
Please roll a 1.
That'll be 10.
All right.
Right,
So 10.
right in the middle
10's
there.
10's
Please
not
roll
bad.
a 1.
A
Would
10's
have been
not
the
bad at
moment,
all.
wouldn't it?
It would have been, absolutely. You'd have insulted the captain and wound up being kicked off the ship in
Just
the
throw
middle
me
of the
overboard.
Moonsea. Yeah, just pushed overboard in the middle of the night while you're endlessly attempting to regale the crew with stories that literally no one wants to hear. No,
I rode a bear.
That's not what
Beararian. I
happens.
wrote a Beararian bareback.
You do. Maybe that's not something you want to brag about. No, over the course of the last 2 days and the majority of the third day, you have actually established something of a rapport with the crew. They were initially a little bit standoffish, seeing you as nothing more than some wealthy dignitary that is traveling from one city to another. The tale as old as time, right? But realizing that you have actually been on a ship before, have been on a crew of a ship before. And actually, Eldrick, I think there's been 3 separate occasions and 3 separate types of ships that you have been on in your journeys. You traveled across the Sea of Fallen Stars on a maritime ship.
Yep.
You traveled on the Blue Dragon's Despair, Pardix ship, on a very different medium.
Yeah.
And then you traveled on board an Illithid Nautiloid and captained an Illithid Nautiloid that you stole
Captain.
through the Astral Sea. So
We've done some sailing.
having a great deal of experience on board on the deck of a ship, you actually managed to get in pretty good with the crew. They probably with a 10, they probably are still telling more stories about you than to you at this point in time. But still, you've garnered a modicum of respect from these weathered sailors. By the time that the City of Swords, Melvaunt, the City of 1,000 Chimneys, comes into view near the end of the third day. One thing that is pretty constant over the course of this voyage is the skies off to the north. More pronounced now that you're closer to shore, but pretty much all the way through your voyage. Whenever it's dark outside, there is sort of a reddish, fell sort of light that seems to pass through the clouds. You're at the time of year where it's pretty much always overcast and it is cold. You're in the middle of October, effectively, sufficiently far to the north that things are starting to get a little dicey for sea travel. But in the clouds, especially in the clouds to the north of where you are currently positioned, wherever that is, there's always sort of a reddish cast that you're not really certain that you're seeing until one of the sailors notices that you're kind of seeing this and points it out and says, "Yeah, it's been that way for the better part of the last couple of months. It's a bad omen, bad juju for sure." And if you watch, excuse me, voice cracked there a little bit. If you watch, every so often, you see a crackle of reddish lightning in those clouds. Even, there has been no storm, not so much as a raindrop fall during the time that you've been on the ship. But every so often, there is a crackle of reddish lightning in the clouds. It's always to the north of the ship. Doesn't matter where you are, it's always in a northerly direction.
Interesting.
As you get closer and closer to the city of Melvaunt and to the north shore of the Moonsea, that gets significantly more pronounced. Even during the daytime, you can see this reddish cast that seems to always be present in the clouds. And the reddish lightning, you don't have to really wait all that often to see it. It is a phenomenon that is increasingly common as you travel further north, as you travel closer and closer to the city of Melvaunt. When you spot Melvaunt on the horizon, whenever the land is spotted and you can see the actual city itself, it's unlike anything that you have ever seen. It is effectively a plume of what looks like smoke rising from the ground all around the environs of the city. And it has truly earned its name, the City of a Thousand Chimneys, or the City of a Thousand Forges. Black, oily smoke rises from every inch of the city of Melvaunt, and you're able to spot that literally miles away.
That's quite the sight.
As you get closer to the city itself, you start to notice a great deal more sea travel or presence on the sea. Ships flying different flags, and if you ask around, given your 10 charisma, you don't have any trouble asking around to some of the sailors, and they'll point out that there are ships from all over the Moonsea that are currently congregating around the city of Melvaunt, bringing dignitaries not unlike yourselves from several of the other Moonsea city-states. You'll see ships from Thentia, which is just a little bit to the east. Ships from Mulmaster itself. You're flying on a ship that, or you're currently sailing on a ship that flies the Mulmaster flag. There are flags that you don't recognize that are other city-states around the Moonsea. But primarily, you're seeing a great deal more ships, both merchant vessels and what appear to be like actual military vessels, like naval vessels, that are essentially at anchor outside, within view of the city, but outside the Melvaunt harbor, just laying at anchor within a mile or so of the city.
Do we clock a impilter anywhere?
Impilter, actually, go ahead and make me a perception check or an investigation check, whichever you choose.
Well, I am the crime-fighting paladin, so...
You are the crime-fighting paladin. That is truth.
Let's see, there's an 8 in here somewhere.
What's up?
Ooh, 12. These rolls.
12. You don't spot a ship flying the Impilturian flag. You know, being one of the few allies that the Kingdom of Bloodstone has, staunch allies anyway. You know the crossed sword and wand of Impilter, their banner, and you would recognize it if you saw it. But a ship from Impilter would be a long, long way from home here. If you take a gander at the map program, or at the map on the stream, Bloodstone is way up here, where you started here in Heliogabalus is up in the top right hand corner. Impilter is the naval capital of Impilter is right over here at Eastwatch, or Ilmwatch rather. They would have to travel all the way around the entire breadth of the Kingdom of Impilter, all the way down to the Dragon Reach, and then up through this sort of narrow canal-like area, from the Dragon Reach up to the Moonsea, and then across the Moonsea to here, which is where Melvaunt is to be found. But because you've arrived at Melvaunt, it's time for a new map.
Dum dum dum.
Ladies and gentlemen, the city map of the City of Swords, Melvaunt.
I immediately want to know where you build your city maps at.
I use a utility called Incarnate for all of my mapping needs.
Nice.
I'll put a link in the chat after this if you want to go and take a look at it. It's a really cool utility. Yeah. Anyhow, as I said before, the a proliferation of various ships, both military and merchant, parked or laying anchor within a mile or so of the city. The city itself looking almost like the caldera of a volcano, just constantly pouring smoke into the sky. The sort of gloom hovering or looming over the skies to the north paints a very vivid picture, I suppose, for what you're here to do, your purpose here. As you recall, and I'll mention it again since it's been 6 weeks, you've been sent to Melvaunt to represent the Kingdom of Bloodstone in a conclave that is happening between the city-states of the Moonsea, the nation of Impilter, the Kingdom of Impilter, and the Kingdom of Bloodstone, and some other interested parties who have as yet gone unnamed, regarding troubling tidings from the wastelands to the north, the Great Grey Land of Thar, which has long been a hotbed of savage activity. Orcs, goblins, ogres, and the like have long haunted the ruins of an ancient ogre kingdom of Thar. But they have, it has been reported that they have an uncommon amount of organization of late. Orc and ogre tribes are congregating, seemingly working together, and there are rumors that there's some kind of demonic influence that is bringing these bestial savage tribes together, and the entirety of the north, at least the north shore of the Moonsea, is beginning to feel threatened. Thus, the Conclave, a group of interested parties from all of the northern city-states, some of the eastern and western city-states of the Moonsea, and then a couple of other neighboring nations, including Impilter and Bloodstone, coming together to decide if there's a solution to be had for this supposed problem, whether it's a diplomatic one, a magical solution perhaps, or a military solution. That explains a lot of what you're seeing. The fact that there are military ships means that there are there's a heightened military presence in the city of Melvaunt right now. And as you begin to, as your ship tacks into the Melvaunt harbor, there is you're not involved necessarily, but there is a very, very strict code of ethics, code of entry into the Melvaunt harbor. Your ship is immediately challenged by Melvauntian military, Melvauntian navy, and it is actually, once you reach the city, it's very, very close to sunset on the third day. It is well after midnight before you're actually able to be effectively towed into the harbor and to the docks and allowed to disembark. When you do so, unless you've got something specific that I see somebody raise a hand.
Two questions. I have two
Please.
questions. I know we're in story time, but I get two questions. One, I don't know how big the harbor is. Are the ships that are anchored about a mile out, are they outside of the harbor, or is this harbor just massive? No,
the harbor is massive. It's at least 60% the size of the city. It's a natural harbor. As you can see, it's sort of flanked. The city kind of sits up on a more elevated area, and the harbor obviously is down below. And there's parts of the land. There's the Godfist Island that is out that serves as sort of a natural barrier, an archipelago of islands that sort of create something of a barrier, natural barrier. But no, most of the ships that you've seen at anchor are outside the harbor. And once you actually make it into the harbor itself, you see that it is very, very sparse within.
Okay.
Very few ships that are not flying the Melvauntian flag, and most of them are military.
Is the coast there just littered with docks, or is there one section that's mostly docks?
For the most part, the wash is the area that's considered the highest concentration of docks. There are some smaller concentrations on the eastern and western side. The Dusk Shadow has its own set of docks. Fort Thunder and Starwatch have the military docks. There's a handful of smaller private docks at the Foreign Quarter, and very, very few at the Livestock Pen, which you would know, Eldrick, having done your research or having done your homework on Melvaunt, is primarily where the majority of the slave trade in Melvaunt happens.
Gotcha. Slave trade. Right. From the pamphlet of homework that my mama handed me. Gotcha.
Right.
And then one other thing. If possible, during the 2-day trip here, I don't know if this is even possible, Eldrick's going to try to deattune from the 2 stones.
Interesting. Okay. So you're going to...
Given the kind of objects they are, I don't even know if he can do that, but he's going to attempt to do so.
Okay. So how exactly are you're just attempting to locate whatever spiritual link that exists between you and them and
choke it off.
And choke it.
Just
okay.
Nope. Just I'm gonna give it the cold shoulder like it got me a bad Christmas present.
Understood. Got it. Okay, so you spend a little bit of time sort of meditating on the stones, trying to locate or quantify even the spiritual link between you and them. It's not the same as a normal enchanted item. Obviously, these are are items of serious power, and your teeth are on edge just having them out of the bag. And you've got the one that the one that you've carried for quite some time now. As you hold it in your hand, it literally is awash in wispy green flames. Always. Just always.
Oh no.
Wasn't always the case, but
no, it was not. That's bad.
Nowadays, it absolutely
We're in danger
is.
zone, guys.
The other one, the one that you retrieved from Merimedra, or thereabouts, is very similar. It's not green flame, but it is constantly sparking with sort of a greenish tinted electricity, lightning. Just shot through at odd times, but it's pretty well constant. And that doesn't stop either. At no point in time, like as you're meditating on the stones, beseeching the face of Ilmater, try to cleanse yourself of your spiritual connection to these stones. At no point in time does those properties change.
Gotcha. Well, after giving it the good Ilmatari try, I'll put them back in the bag and get them kind of stuffed back in my armor.
All right.
And hope and pray.
Make me an do either insight or perception. I think they're probably going to be about the same for you.
No, not at all. My insight is infinitely better than my perception, so we will insight.
Okay.
That is hold on here.
Roll something higher than a 5. today?
Well, I'm really hoping this would be the time for a 20.
Do it. Do it.
Well, 17 total. Ain't bad.
Okay, so on 17, you will notice that. So we'll say, for the sake of argument, that the entire first day of your voyage, you primarily spent on deck, getting to know the sailors, making yourself useful, building the rapport that you have established with your crew, with the crew. Also, there's some time with your personal guard, getting to know those 10 individuals a little bit better. A conference with Bogdan, so on and so forth. Essentially, just keeping the lights on for your outing. Second day is likely when you will have taken some time aside from all of that to sequester yourself in the cabin that you were provided, put guards on the doors, make sure that nobody's going to bother you or going to walk in, and then you do this. You spend some time in meditation with these things out. The third day, you will note that people are giving you a little bit of side eye. They're not necessarily treating you like markedly different, but there's a little bit of wariness whenever people who you were talking to, and this includes your guards, or people who are people who yesterday were very friendly with you, are still friendly, but it is a far more reserved sort of interaction. They appear to be a little bit more wary of you today.
That is unfortunate.
Macaria or thoros'l, anything in particular that you want to add to the naval or the maritime voyage? Anything you're doing?
Macaria is not going to be doing too much. However, she will be interested in looking at the red lightning and trying to just almost like cloud watching, but it's lightning watching.
Okay. Anything in particular you're looking for other than just watching?
Nope, just watching because I have most of my stuff I can't get close enough to examine, so I just want to revel in it for a little bit.
Okay. Make me an Arcana check or a Nature check. Your choice.
Oh. No, I'm not going to do nature. That'd be silly. All right, let's see. Arcana. Oh, a 30 altogether.
That is a natural
Not
20. 30.
Nice.
Okay. Macaria, as you're watching, so you spend a good portion of, we'll say, the second evening, as the sun starts to go down over the moon sea, and the lightning off in the distance becomes a little bit more visible, where it's a little easier to see just because there's less other light. The moon is nowhere to be seen at this point in time because of the cloud cover. You're watching. You're basically standing out on the deck. Where is Macaria during all this? May I ask?
She should be in her room, acting as if no one knows she is there.
Understood. Okay, making sure. Okay, so then Macaria is away. Macaria is standing sort of on the railing of the ship as it is cutting through the waves, and watching watching for patterns, we'll say, in the lightning. You with a natural 20, with a total of 30 on your Arcana check. You understand magical theory. You understand elemental magic. You understand how forces in this world and other worlds tend to work. lightning is a natural force that is harnessed by mystical means. Lightning itself. Whenever you cast lightning, it's not, you're not creating energy, you're harnessing existing energy from the world around you and directing that in a certain way. Therefore, even though there is a certain element of unpredictability to the way that lightning behaves, it's still naturally generated, and therefore there's a law to it. There is a pattern to it. It can be predicted to a certain degree, or can be controlled to a certain degree. What you're seeing out here is not that. It is very clearly magical. It appears as though it is lightning, but there is no pattern. There is no rhyme. There's no reason. You've seen lightning travel across clouds, strike down from clouds. You've seen all sorts of natural phenomena involving lightning. This, what you're seeing out here, is not that. This is chaos.
This is right.
This is pure, uncontrolled power. And it is frightening. To someone who is so strictly regimented in her use of the arcane, this is terrifying. This is chaos in its purest form.
Well, now, that's not a good sign. How quote unquote close is it to the Melvaunt city stack smoke of doom? Like, separated, or slowly mixing, or together?
It's hard to discern even with a 30. Depth perception only works to a certain point, up to a certain point. It appears to be over the city of Melvaunt, but it has appeared to be overhead and to the north since long before you saw the city of Melvaunt. So,
okay.
But with a 30, I can tell you that the lightning that you're seeing, or the red arcs of energy that you're seeing that are streaking through the clouds, they are not confined by any stretch of the imagination to the city of Melvaunt. It is everywhere by now. The entirety, if you turn and face north, it is all around you.
Okay.
So
I got some thoughts.
So by the time midnight comes around, by the end of the third day, I don't have my calendar up, but this is in 18 hours, I believe, is the first meeting of the conclave, or the compact, the Moonsea Compact, at the Asbereth, which is if you're looking around at the city of Melvaunt map, the Asbereth is a walled section of the city to the north, at the north end, that is effectively just a labyrinth of government complexes. The seat of the Council of Lords within Melvaunt is within the Asbereth, and it is a district unto itself. Obviously, it is the smallest district, as it is completely contained within the walls of Melvaunt, or of the walls of the Asbereth. But it is effectively, it is just the beating nerve center. I was going to say the beating heart, if that's not the case, but it is the nerve center of the government, quote unquote, of the city of Melvaunt, the Council of Lords, and everything that has to do with the rulership of this city. That in the council chamber of the Council of Lords is where the compact, the meetings of the Moonsea Compact are going to be held, starting at sunset, which is about 18 hours away, tomorrow. So you have approximately 18 hours to get your footing within the city of Melvaunt, meet your contact, and prepare yourself for the first meeting of the Moonsea Compact. The council, as it were, of nations, city-states, powerful individuals within the Moonsea area that are gathering to address what is happening to the north. As you step off the ship and onto the docks, you go through the standard customs. Melvaunt is very, very tight on what they allow into the city, and as far as like goods, they don't bat an eye at your weapons. They don't bat an eye at the fact that you have brought armed individuals into their city, but they do want to make sure that you're declaring any goods that are coming into the city, as they keep a very, very tight leash on trade. You, of course, are expected. And you, Eldrick, and your retinue are met at the docks by a delegation from the city of Melvaunt, who are going to take you to the Thinker's Quarter, which is where your quarters are, your lodgings are going to be kept for the time that you're in the city for the compact. You'll be meeting at the Asbereth, but you'll be residing in effectively a set of apartments that have been set aside for you in the Thinker's Quarter.
Gotcha. Just south of the Asbereth, got it.
Correct. Yeah, you're within a half an hour's walk or shorter to the places that you need to be every day for these meetings, as long as the compact goes on. And it's expected to be several days of meetings, assuming that that nothing additional happens and you don't begin some sort of military campaign from here within the city. But as you're being effectively gathered, there is a gentleman who is traveling alongside the delegation from Melvaunt. And Simrith, if you would please give us a description of this individual and who he is and what he does, to introduce himself.
All right. This particular individual is a tan-colored half-elf, and tall, nearly at right around 6 feet. He has black hair that flows out from underneath a green bicocket and stops shortly before it hits his shoulders. And for any of the viewers out there who do not know what a bicocket is, it's very much like a Robin Hood style hat. It's got the pointed front and the bill that kind of sweeps upwards as it goes back.
Nice.
He has one green eye and another eye that has lost its pigmentation, and it has that like whitish gray look that gives off the impression that he's blind in it. He is clean shaven, sports a white doublet that's accented with red. He wears some dark red trousers that's kept up by a black leather belt, which also holds his rapier. And the look is rounded out with a pair of knee-high black leather boots with a green hooded cloak, where the hood is down to make the bicocket stand out a bit more. And the look is rounded off with a very intricately and exquisitely crafted lute that is slung over his back.
I don't know if I have an easily accessed. I'm going to see if I can here real quick. An easily accessed picture of. We've got the token for this individual that is currently floating over Simmerth's head. So you can see what his face looks like, I suppose. But I'm looking for the rest of him, see if there's something I can put up. Go ahead, Sim. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there.
I mean, as far as his physical appearance, that's pretty much about it.
And does this gentleman introduce himself at this point in time, or is he just sort of traveling alongside Eldrick and his company as they're led to the quarter?
No, he will definitely introduce himself. Very eloquently, let's say. He introduces himself by saying, not his name, per se, but he introduces himself by saying, I am the soother of sad souls through song. I am the purveyor of good times and the enhancer of said times. I'm a partaker of women and wine, not necessarily in that order, but sometimes both simultaneously. I'm a chronicler of deeds, a dashingly good swordsman, a master of sound, and a humble and not so humble servant of Kellenfor. I am Magnusson Nightingale, at your service.
Well met, Magnusson. Yep, I'm not on mute, sorry. Well met, Magnusson. I am Eldrick Oaks, and this is thoros'l and Macaria with me here. And Macaria, I guess, as well.
Sisters.
It would seem. I
Yes.
believe we were to meet you here in the city, yes?
Yes. I was expecting you sooner, of course, but
Road was long.
I suppose having a little time to properly prepare you is fine.
You will find we function much better on less prep. Less time to overthink and make mistakes. At least that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
So how familiar are you with Melvaunt?
Marginally so. Any local laws we need to be aware of that might be a snafu for... He kind of looks at thoros'l for a second and looks back to Magnusson. I suspect they probably frown on punching nobility, yes?
Well, that depends on who you ask. Depends who you punch, who you don't punch, who you know, how much money you have.
Ah, gotcha.
But I can tell you that there's a few major families here that you do not want to punch. That would be the Laeragons, Bruils, and the Nanthers.
Do these folk have easily identifiable tattoos on their foreheads to make this more convenient for us?
While I refer to 8-bit on this one, I am pretty certain that is a no.
Correct.
Yeah, no. I figured not. Interesting. These are... Oh, sorry.
You've probably given at least a basic... You've probably been given at least a basic primer on the more prominent movers and shakers within the city of Melvaunt, and so this doesn't come as any real shock to you. The Laeragons, the Bruils, and the Nanther, you would probably recognize their sigils on site. Whether or not you would recognize the individuals, probably not.
Gotcha. If I could get one of you two to put those three names in a chat somewhere, that would be dope.
All about it. I'm taking care of it.
There's zero chance I spell those right.
Or ever say them right again. we know.
Yeah, especially
Yeah.
after the Kevin Bacon Dennis Leary debacle.
Put them in the stream chat. I'll also put them in the Discord, just so that you've got multiple places where you could forget where they are.
Excellent. Hey, one of these names is infinitely sayable. Apparently not very copy pastable.
Nice.
The Bruels.
Yep.
I guess Nanthers is pretty phonetic as well. And the Laragons?
That's very close.
Laragons?
Laragons.
Laragons. Oof. We're gonna have fun with that one.
Don't feel bad. I had to read it and study it quite a bit myself before I got that one.
Nice. Well, Eldrick will turn towards Magnus. I suspect these are the. I'm led to believe these are the more notable nobility in the city here. Yes.
Yes and no. As they do have a lot of power and influence in this city. One of the families is a little bit out of favor, but they're kind of still here, still very influential.
So one thing that you will have noted, Eldrick, he's not telling you anything that you haven't at least browsed or at least perused through your reading about the city. For the last several generations of Melvaunt, these three noble families have been sort of vying for ultimate control of the city. And when I say that they have control of the city, it's they're holding the important offices within the city, right? They've the entirety of the city is run, controlled, ruled by the Council of Lords. There's I think that currently there's like 21 seats on this council, and they're held by various individuals, hereditary title sort of situation. But that number is constantly fluctuating. What keeps these three families in power as it is that members of their family or members that their family controls hold a majority of the seats on this council collectively.
Yeah.
There's not a single family that has a monopoly or a controlling interest in the city, but together the Nanthers, the Laragons, and the Bruel control enough of the seats on the council that essentially what they say goes. And then there's an elected chancellor that essentially is the executive branch that executes the council's will. It's currently held by a Laragon.
Gotcha.
The military, on the other hand, is held by a Bruel.
That makes sense. They sound like blunt instruments.
But there is one thing that your mother was very specific to point out, is that coin is king here. The council, it controls everything. The chancellor executes everything. The military enforces everything. But if you have enough money in the city of Melvaunt, you can supersede all of that. You can buy a seat on the council. And from there, you can begin to influence policy.
Gotcha. Well, I don't know that I brought that much pocket change with me.
Well, I didn't say you. I didn't mean you specifically, but
and I am a little tapped out after a certain hotel bill came in with some unexpected charges. But I think we can work with this.
thoros'l and his late night movie binges.
Channel 34 up in here. Anyway, Well, where the red notes this here. Well, Magnusson, have you gotten a chance to see any of the other delegates for the compact come through here? I'm going to suspect we are not the early arrivers.
I've not seen any of them per se. There are a number of, I guess, delegates that will be here.
You have been made aware, Magnusson, that the foreign quarter in specific is full to bursting right now.
The foreign quarter?
Yes, the southeast corner of the city is full to bursting right now. Not specifically with the delegates, but with their retinue, their armies. There are hundreds, perhaps thousands of soldiers in the city now from outside Melvaunt. If in any other time in this city's history, having this number of soldiers from outside the city inside would constitute an invasion and perhaps an occupation. But it's a weird moment in the city's history that they are allowing in literal thousands of other cities, other nations' troops in preparation for what they think is going to be war.
Well, that lends some seriousness to the situation, don't it?
He said, "You want to talk about serious? Even Zentel Keep is sending some delegates."
Interesting. He kind of looks back to thoros'l. I wonder if it'll be anybody we know.
You know people from Zentel?
Unfortunately, I suspect so.
Oh, and here I thought Bloodstone was just sending some spoiled rich kid.
Well, if the glove fits. Will you be staying in the Thinker's Quarter with us?
Well, if you wish me to, then I can stay with you.
I just meant in general. I don't know if you have quarters elsewhere in the city. Are you originally from Melvaunt? Or how long
Originally from Melvaunt? No. But I have been here for quite a few years.
Do you find the city suitable to your particular set of skills?
Anywhere I go is suitable for my set of skills. But no, this city is quite interesting. I find it fun. There's much to do here.
It would seem that way. Is the out of character for a second? Are the streets just like super smoky, or is all the smoke like above us?
So there are certain sections of the city. As you go further north, so if you're looking at the map, the smolder area produces a great deal of the smoke and cinder that you see within that is rising up from the city. It's where a majority of the forges in the city exist. The Works district is not too dissimilar from that, but the forges are not the only thing that are contributing to the smoke pollution sort of situation. It seems like almost every building in the city has a chimney that's just belching forth smoke. It's more highly concentrated in those two districts, more in the smolder than anywhere else. But the smolder and the Works produce probably 80% of the smog, effectively.
Yep. Well, and it's also cold here too, right?
It is. Well, it was until you stepped into the city proper. The city itself is a good 10, 15 degrees warmer just from the prevalence of forges everywhere. It raises the press of bodies. Honestly, like there's just this is a city that's probably I'm gonna say maybe 3/4 the size of Heliogabalus, and right now it's got easily the same population, wintertime population of Heliogabalus, and Heliogabalus is normally about 45,000 people. In the wintertime, it balloons. And this city is packed to bursting right now.
Gotcha. Do we notice the quality of the folk around us? Like, are there a lot of incredibly poor people, or is the city's streets pretty clean from that sort of prospect?
Oh, well, the city itself is not particularly clean. It's functional, and it's workable. You know, there's not, like, heaps of garbage lining the streets or anything like that. But it's not anything like what you would see, like, in the Rise district or even in the Bricktop district of Heliogabalus, which you're more used to, or the Purse. Everything is drab, dark, covered in soot for the most part. There's ash. It's not uncommon to just see ash floating through the on the breeze through the streets. Everything smells like sulfur and burning. It just smells like burning all the time. The people themselves are a pretty dour lot, generally. They very largely keep to themselves. The city is considerably darker than Heliogabalus. Possessed
Are the buildings of pretty good height, or are they shorter?
For the most part, they're pretty. Like they're not anything like Praca. Praca is a city of towers, basically a city of spires. This is not that for sure, but there are considerably taller buildings here, and they're all stone. There's nothing in this city appears to be made of any sort of flammable material.
That makes sense.
But that being the case, it is the streets are narrow, the alleyways are narrower still, and dark. It would be very, very easy to get lost moving through the kind of labyrinth of buildings in this city, and you get the feeling that you do not want to be lost in this city.
I mean, I got a big hammer. I can get lost. But so the delegation that we're with, are there like actual delegates, or is it just like guards that are like, look, we got to take you over here. Our boss said go this way. Just stay within the red lines.
Effectively, the gentleman who introduces himself to you, you catch his name, but and Eldrick will remember it, but I don't have it like on my on the tip of my tongue. But he says that he is a representative of the Key, which you know to be the City Watch / military. Soldiers in this city serve both purposes, both as City Watch and as regular military. But there's no. When I said the delegation, I meant it essentially is a group of guards who are sent to escort you as noble personages to your destination.
No, that makes sense.
There's probably a captain. The guy that you're talking to is likely a captain. He's high up enough in the keys that he is notable, but he's not anybody special.
Gotcha. And real quick, I was told that Magnusson was going to be our guide, or like part of our delegation.
Is
he babysit me, or is he here to help me?
He is. So he was originally, you know this about Magnusson, he was originally a member of Spy Song. So he is technically a Bloodstone agent. Spy Song doesn't exactly exist anymore, at least not in the form that it was previously. So he's sort of I'll probably be dating myself here, and I don't know if all of you will get this reference, but he's sort of a Michael Weston in Bloodstone.
Mhm.
He's an agent from a shadow organization that doesn't exist anymore, and he's sort of what the people that still exist in the government of Bloodstone or in the intelligence community in Bloodstone don't really know what to do with him, and so he is at your disposal.
Gotcha.
But he operates under a chain of command that you don't truly understand, and you suspect that he maybe doesn't either.
Oh my God, burn notice, man, that's a deep cut. 2012.
Yeah.
My goodness. Got it. That puts him into context. I like it. I like it. He's a rogue agent. No, not a rogue agent, but possibly a rogue agent. Excellent.
An agent that is in the process of being retired. Sort of.
Well, it sounds like he needs a new job then. I just happened to pick up wayward puppies along the way. All right. Well, so we're heading to the Thinkers District. We're traveling along with these here guards that are getting us from point A to point B. So, Magnusson, is there any information that you have gathered about this this conclave that might be, let's say, less advertised by those inviting us here?
I may have a bit of insight, which might be better off until we're a bit more private.
Sure.
But I think I can help steer you at least in the right direction.
Would be most appreciated. Ancient Orc Empire uprisings seems very much like a negative thing that needs to be handled. I would hate for us to get bogged down here with petty national squabbles.
Oh, then you're in for it because you're going to have to deal with all of that.
Well, I kind of figured I would.
Give me a charisma check, Elder.
I do love me some charisma checks. That'll be 26, 18 on the die.
All right. So as you're kind of talking to Magnusson about the things that you just said, talking about the ancient orc empire rising up is not the sort of thing that you want to happen on your doorstep. And you happen to notice, just kind of out of the corner of your eye, not that they necessarily heard you, but a group of half-orc laborers who are coming down the other side of the street. And these are not the buck sort of half-orcs. These are not the the Palishchuk sort of half-orcs. The more Palishchuk over the course of the last couple of generations has become almost civilized, a city of half-orcs. These half-orcs are not the same. One of these things is not like the other. These are maybe first generation half-orcs, second at most. Big, hulking, brutish, and grim. And looking around,
are they blue?
They're grayish.
Okay.
Grayish pallor. Not dissimilar. In the Palishchukians, the half-orcs from Palishchuk have taken to calling themselves Rageborn. And from what you have seen of the Rageborn, they're primarily sort of a greenish gray pallor. These guys are just gray, just slate gray, and big, and bulky, and brutish.
Gotcha. Do I see a lot of them in the city?
As you're looking around, as you're traveling through the Works District, yes, you do. And most of them are wearing collars.
Ooh, I don't like that. I know what that means. That's not good. Elder don't like. Elder's already making plans within plans. Bad choices are going to happen one of these sessions, boys.
Bad choices.
Well, I mean, righteous choices, but probably bad choices.
I mean,
Um,
are those really like distinguishable?
Inconvenient choices.
Inconvenient, the best kind of choices a player can make in a D&D game. Yes, inconvenient choices. Anyway, okay. Well, Magnusson, I look forward to getting the inside scoop on what's going on here. Do you know if the city has come under attack yet at all, or is that still a distant memory or distant future?
Um, the city itself hasn't come under attack. I mean, we've had more caravans in the area than usual kind of go missing. Uh, we've lost contact with Glint. No actual like attacks upon the city.
Don't like that one. Okay.
Glister is the name that you meant there.
Glister, my bad. Glister.
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought he was getting at. I was getting ready to go
Yeah,
look it
my
up.
bad. I remembered it wrong, but yeah, Glister.
That is unfortunate. Do you know if anyone's been sent to Glister?
8-bit, do I?
You
Or
there
no,
will.
if they send anyone?
You don't know that there's necessarily been like an official presence, like a military response or any sort of like official Melvauntian group sent out to try to reestablish communication with Glister. You probably are aware that the Impelturian forces have tried, but you haven't heard whether or not they were successful.
Okay. Yeah, he'll kind of leave it. He's like, there's, I have not known of any force or delegation from Melvaunt. He'll kind of specifically, like, pointedly make it say it's Melvaunt, and that has been sent to try and reestablish communications. But then he'll kind of leave it hanging that there may be some other
Gotcha.
group that does, but he doesn't voice it.
Mm-hmm. Well, normally I would send my tactical scud druid to go check this sort of thing out, but he is otherwise engaged. I have a feeling you and him would get along quite well. Anyway,
That's because I get along well with everyone.
I gather that from you. So we have 18 hours once these fine folk drop us off at our housing to experience this city and perhaps meet one or two of the other delegates if possible. I don't suppose those and or dinner are things that you happen to be able to make happen for us.
Dinner shouldn't be that difficult to make happen. I
don't know. I'm pretty picky.
And I know before you were talking about punching people, so there's probably some good few taverns on the west side of Melvaunt we could visit.
We might take you up on that one. I do feel that my friend here has need of some exercise, perhaps, before the stuffy delegation meetings.
Thoros'l's been unexpectedly quiet these last few days.
Yeah, he was spending a lot of time on the ship, kind of just being lookout, getting to know the guard that Eldrick had with him. So, are they still palling around with us, or
They are. You've still got all 10 of Eldrick's personal guard that are basically in ranks with you. Japhet Bogdan is basically never more than an arm's length from Eldrick. Nisme Nalambar is the leader, the quote-unquote captain of Eldrick's guard, and she is always close at hand as well. The remainder, they're around.
thoros'l's mixing it up with them more so than the rest of the party? Just they feel like comfortable with this kind of soldiering kind of background, getting to know them. Eldrick's kind of the leader, but thoros'l will he doesn't have the skills to lead like that, so he'll just hang with them a little bit. But he's listening in. He's listening to the conversation. He's keeping a wary eye on this newcomer, who claims he gets along with everybody, but we'll see about that.
Make me,
Backstab.
thoros'l, make me a charisma check, but at advantage because you are palling around with fellow soldiers who you understand a little bit better than the normies.
I'm gonna step away for a half second. Sorry.
Yep.
It's a 6.
Okay.
The charisma bonus helping quite a bit here.
Charisma's helping out there. Okay, so was that at advantage? Did you get a? Oh, you rolled.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. You rolled a 0 was the second one. Got it.
Yep.
All right, so you're palling around a little bit with the rank and file. You kind of get the feeling that it's not that so much that they look down on you necessarily, but there's a clear distinction between you and them. They are career military. You're a mercenary. There's a difference. There's a clear line of demarcation there. But all in all, your relationship with them is cordial, polite, but not exactly camaraderie. Not yet.
No, and thoros'l, he's not out to make friends, but
Obviously.
he's making a point to be present in when they see him on watch too. They see him doing some of the same things, so that they know that they can be relied upon. They can rely on each other. He's trying to build a little bit of that.
Yeah, you get so whatever else you are, they saw you fight earlier today. Or, well, not earlier today, but whatever it was, 3 days ago. And you have their respect from that alone. Yeah, it's respect. It's not camaraderie.
Sure. We'll build on that.
Yeah, we can. You got time, for sure. All right. Well, so you are shown to a set of apartments. You're made aware that the other delegations are being housed elsewhere in the city. There have been we will say generational tensions between some of the city-states. Melvaunt and Thentia normally get along pretty well together, mostly. But the Thentian delegation is not here yet. The Mulmasterites are here, but they don't always get along with their neighbors. There have been wars between Melvaunt and Mulmaster in recent history within the last generation or two. The Impilturians are here in force. They appear to be pretty much everywhere. And they're the leader of their delegation, who is being referred to as the Lord in Exile, is being housed in a mansion, which is a semi-permanent residence of his, in the Cinder Spire, which is an elevated area up on basically a set of like basalt cliffs that are part of the city is built into. Then the Zents are not here, but they are rumored to be coming. And then you are you're still being referred to as the Damaran delegation. They haven't yet been updated on the fact that you were the Bloodstone delegation, but you're the Damarans, and you're being kept at the Thinker's Quarter. But asking around, and even asking your liaison, not specifically Magnusson, sorry, but the captain that has brought you to your quarters here, he is not authorized to give you the locations of the other delegates for security purposes.
Does the city, I guess it'd be the council, right? That's what the leadership's called.
Mm-hmm.
Do they provide any way for us to send messages to other delegates?
Not at this time. So there is to be a meeting of the delegates tomorrow. That's the first sort of. It's not exactly a mixer because you will be getting down to business pretty quickly, but it is sort of a formal greeting of between the delegates. And if there are to be inroads made, they'll be made at that time. And then essentially each of the delegations is handling sort of its own. Melvaunt is not fronting any of this. Melvaunt isn't handling anything for the delegations. They are simply providing the neutral ground for everyone to do this. If you want to have a relationship with the Impulturians, for instance, you'll speak with the Lord in Exile or one of his people tomorrow and work out that communication at that point in time.
No, absolutely. The okay, so if the council is just like fronting the real estate for this sort of thing, who's actually organizing? Is it Impilter's actually doing the organization?
Yes, the Impilter is organizing everything.
Do we know if they have a special relationship with Melvaunt? Like, is it like their greatest trading partner in the north or something?
Make me an investigation check.
All right. I don't know why I'm tabbing to my character sheet. That one I actually know. Survey says a 12.
So this guy that you keep hearing about, the Lord in Exile, he is rumored to be an actual member of the ruling council of Impilter, and he lives here.
Interesting.
Now, the circumstances behind his supposed exile or why he lives here, a 12 doesn't get you that. You rolled a 4 on the die. You don't get that information, but you are able to get that whoever the guy is that's running the show here. He's supposed to be a member of the ruling council of Impilter, but he is in exile and therefore lives here in the city of Melvaunt.
Now, I suspect I would know that's not Hellenborough, right? Or I don't know that.
From everything that you have heard from the Bloodstone perspective, is that if Hellenborough is not the Lord in Exile, he is working very closely with that person. But Hellenborough is the one who suggested that you be involved, and he was the one that was liaising with your government to make this happen. You being here specifically. But it is altogether possible that Hellenborough himself is the Lord in Exile.
Gotcha. Coulda, woulda, shoulda. We'll find out.
We'll find out.
Interesting. All right. Well, then we will settle into our new digs and invite Magnusson to come join us for a meal as we acquaint ourselves to the city.
All right. So using your own group of guards, your personal guard, essentially to provide your own private security. You're basically able to secure the set of apartments that you have been given. They're not anything particularly special, but they're a cut above what they're a cut above what you had or what you gave to your people in Heliogabalus. They're not lavish by any stretch of the imagination, but they're comfortable. You're not being insulted, is what I'm getting at.
Gotcha. I like not being insulted. I'm a big fan. My favorite part about not being insulted is somebody thought I was worth not insulting.
I'm getting Billy Crystal vibes from you tonight, Souls.
I don't know why.
I don't get it.
Those are Eldrick's musings as we are walking into the space.
So are you? So this powwow with Magnusson, is this going to be within your compound, or are you out on the town while you're having these conversations?
We should probably have a chat with him before we leave the compound, but the game plan is to go out after that chat and then go out and see the city and kind of get the lay of the land, see if maybe we can find a person who sells maps and get a map of the kind of region that we're in. Just kind of go and see if we can just bump into some delegations and or people who might be able to assist us in. Well, I guess we're getting in contact with them tomorrow, so hearing gossip wouldn't hurt my feelings either. But no,
You
we should definitely chat with Magnusson before we leave.
you said the M word, so I'm gonna give you this one.
Oh, maps, yes.
Yes. So this
I was like,
is
I didn't think I used a slur.
this is the general understanding that you have of the region of Thar. You are on the northern shores of the Moonsea. These mountains that are here at the top, this is the border
Yep.
between Thar and Vasa. So these are the Galena's
Okay.
mountains.
Yep.
You came from the south and the east. So from way down here, initially, the city of Mulemaster is far, well, basically 3 days sailing, far to the south and east of Melvaunt and Thintia. Thintia, as I mentioned before, is one of the cities who is nominally allied with Melvaunt. Hulburg is a much more minor city, and it doesn't really have much of a presence in politics. Mostly because it's only even been there for maybe the last 30 or so years, after having been destroyed by an orcish horde long ago.
Gotcha. Is that one of those places that like just happens to be in a really good spot for a trade route or something, and it just keeps popping back up?
Basically, that and the fact that there's a noble family who has been in control of Hulburg, the Hullmasters, who just refuse to give up.
Gotcha. Well,
City
you got
gets
to build that 15 castle so it doesn't sink into the swamp.
yeah. City gets ruined either by an invading army or a horde of some beasts from Thar. A few decades pass, and another Hullmaster comes in and raises it back up again.
Gotcha. Is Flawn a desiccated ruin, or you just need another icon?
Nope, it is pretty much ruined. It's another one of those cities that, based on where it is, and specifically that it's between Melvaunt and Zintel Keep, it's often the arena for any battles that happen between those city-states. Flan is in a constant state, and I mean for easily the last 100 years, in a constant state of being ruined and rebuilt. It's had its own problems. Lots of issues that aren't specifically military. Monsters will occasionally get loose in the area and rampage all through the city of Flan. But yeah, so it's basically in a constant state of being rebuilt and ruined and rebuilt again.
Gotcha. And the Orcish Empire is where? Up in the northwest, you said?
Everything between the coast and the mountains is considered the wastes of Thar.
So all of this.
All of this, yeah.
Gotcha.
There are points of light, points of civilization against the backdrop of darkness and desolation.
All right. Well, we got a map. Fantastic. I love it.
Map. And of course, Glister you're familiar with, at least to some extent.
I am. Yes. Sad to hear that we no longer have contact with it. That's not good. Have to fix that at some point. All right, Magnusson, you said you had the scoop on this here city.
All right.
Some perhaps valuable nuggets.
I assume at this point we're a bit more alone, and
Yeah, we're definitely still in the apartments when we're having this part of the conversation.
Right. Says, well, I can tell you, I hear a lot through the rumor mill. In Pilcher, clearly they will have a delegation here, as in they're the ones who are kind of spearheading this. they've also been the ones who have been, I guess, really speaking up about the orcish demonic horde or whatever it is that has been gathering. They're actually fairly well entrenched in Thar already.
Gotcha.
Apparently, Lord Alambrar is here, in the Cinder Spire. The rumor mill has it that he himself is the exiled lord. Not been able to actually prove that, but that's the rumor mill. They've pilchers probed out into the countryside, and I think pretty sure that they've kind of taken some ruins as kind of fortifications. They're a tight-lipped group. I don't really get much out of them. But they've really been spearheading this whole thing, and they're
I think we lost a little bit there, Sam. If you want to repeat what you just said.
Yeah, the last sentence.
Oh, I just said, yeah, they're in Pilcher. They've been kind of leading this whole thing, and they're pretty well entrenched into the countryside, as far as I can tell.
Gotcha. So they've already got military forces about.
Yes.
Hmm.
Entia to the east. They're on pretty good terms. They're have a delegation. They've already more or less promised some troops, some cavalry and wizards, if basically if war becomes inevitable. Then you've got, like I said before, Zento Keep is sending a delegation. Nobody here thinks that their help will not come with serious strings attached, or afraid of what those strings might even be.
Well, let us pray they're as benign as money.
Yeah, I doubt that. Mole Master.
Man, you never know. Clerks need money too.
Yeah. But you know them. They definitely want more than just money.
That is
Just assume whatever they want, that's not their true goal. But beside that, Mole Master will have a delegation. That's going to be a bit of a touchy subject. Melvaunt and Mole Master, there's a little history there.
Yes, we just passed through Mole Master. It was an experience, to say the least.
Yeah. So, in order to get their help, basically going to have to make a deal with their the Mole Master's High Blade. I don't want to be in your shoes for that one, but definitely trying to get them on our side wouldn't hurt.
Well, I talked to some folks in my days. We'll figure that out.
And then, other than that, there's been a contingent of the Order of the Golden Cup that is in Melvaunt.
You don't say.
Yes, they've been building up a lot of goodwill through with healing. But,
that would be what my brothers do, brothers and sisters do.
I don't know.
Go ahead.
Something seems a little bit off because they're a little bit more militant, like demeanor, than I would consider a
didn't want to hear that.
Healing order to have.
Yeah, I'm not going to tell you anything more than you already know. Eldrick,
Yep.
you were not made aware that any official presence from your order was going to be here.
Indeed not.
Considering that you were granted this task by the current Grand Master of your order, that's disturbing.
Yeah, that implies that it is exactly who I don't want it to be. Which is the other sect. Anyway,
Is this information that you are speaking aloud? Are you mentioning the other sect in front of Magnusson?
Nope.
That's internal dialogue.
Nope, that's internal Eldrick monologue.
Got it. Understood.
Yep. That's for the readers, not for the players.
Understood. Anything else, Mags?
Nah, I think that's a good solid foundation there. If there's anything specific you'd like to know.
I suspect the things I really need to know are going to be questions I have after meeting the delegates come tomorrow. Well, my friend Magnus, the absolute most important question for today is where in the city can I get the best meal? Because that was a long boat trip, and before that it was a long carriage ride, and I had more than one tussle along the way, and I and my fellows need to treat ourselves for a moment, take a nice break from the hubbub.
He'll I guess he'll know plenty of places to eat. I guess I'd probably not sure where in the city. Probably more like Center Market or the Hub might be where good restaurants are or eating places.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Magnusson will know a number of upscale, or at least, if not necessarily upscale, then.
No. Eldrick doesn't want to go to the swankiest place in town. He wants to go to that, like, the Cheers, right? Like the hidden gem that they don't take the tourists to.
I see. So you want what the place that Magnusson goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be the Devil's Fire.
Oh my God, that sounds like we're gonna get in trouble. I love it.
All right, so that is, unfortunately, it is after 10 p.m. That is where we're going to call it for this evening, as Magnusson resolves to induct Eldrick and his company, his new companions, his new friends, to an evening at the preeminent night spot in the city of Melvaunt. And given that it's just after midnight, you're probably close to 2 a.m. at this point after being settled into your place. The hot spot for the nightlife in Melvaunt, the Devil's Fire Tavern. We'll call it there for this week. We will be back in 2 weeks, hopefully, the 15th. Okay, possibly the 15th of April. That's a big day. That's a tax day. That's I'm pretty sure I have things already potentially scheduled for much of that week. We'll see how it goes, though. We will hopefully be back on the 15th of April. If not, then perhaps we will co-opt the 29th in its stead, since that's going to be a 5th Tuesday anyway. If not, then you guys are no stranger to long absences from Bloodstone, so we will be back with you as soon as we possibly can, either a first or a third Tuesday upcoming. In the meantime, guys, thank you all for being here this evening. Appreciate you guys as always. Anybody who is still out there in viewer land, out on the internet, we appreciate you as well. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We will hopefully be back very, very soon with episode 39 at the Devil's Fire. Guys, we'll see you on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, hopefully this week, assuming that I'm still above water. And otherwise, join us back here next Tuesday for some Starfleet battles. Have a great rest of your week. We'll see you on Thursday. Good night, guys. Chi-chi.
Adios.
Later.